Yeah, it was last year. My screen time each day was something like 14 hours.
Fuck.
And TikTok would be 4 hours.
That's crazy.
Yeah, TikTok would be 4 hours each, which was even then I was just like, I need to get off this app. Like, that's not good.
I feel like we just need to, as humans, need to get off our phone more just in general though.
It's so hard to, because what's your thoughts on, you know how some people will be like, when you're at dinner and let's say you got a whole group of friends and people on their phone and things like that. It's like, oh, you're not socializing. Sometimes you are. Sometimes you're messaging people.
I definitely agree with that. Like, it's such a dinner conversation where it's like, oh, wow, look at everyone on their phones and all that. It's like, well, if I got a message from like a mate who I don't really chat to, maybe it's in a group chat, there's a Snapchat or like, you know, an Instagram, like, I'm still socializing.
Yep.
Like, I get that it doesn't look great, but then at the same time, like,
am I meant to be talking the whole entire time?
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Like, how many times have we been at
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Morokaii with Two Eyes. We are back. We're on every single Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. 7 a.m. on Spotify and 4:30 p.m. on YouTube. Now, before Lee, we were talking about shows like How I Met Your Mother, Big Bang Theory, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and we were thinking, you know what? Background shows. We're going to get into it.
Yeah, we have to talk about background shows. What makes a good one? What makes a bad one? Well, actually, what makes a bad one? You wouldn't be watching a bad one, would you?
I mean, well, you could. Look, you've got trash television. That's why there's some good background shows that are, you know, just trash that you don't want that you don't want to pay attention to.
Trash.
Yeah, like some people would think that, you know, Geordie Shore's trash,
but they're wrong. They're so wrong.
The newer seasons, yeah.
Oh no, the newer seasons, I would agree.
Yeah,
I wouldn't even bother putting that on.
Yeah, not anymore.
Like it's just bad. It is just bad.
Isn't it a shame when you got some shows that just go so downhill?
Yeah, and they just fell. It's almost like they tried it for so long that they didn't know when to stop.
Yep. How I Met Your Mother's one of them.
Like, they could have ended it on a perfect high, but just kept feeding.
Yeah.
Feeding it. I don't know what my hand was doing there, but don't worry.
Do you know what show ended on an absolute perfect end? And I feel like it didn't overstay its welcome? Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad, still to this day, I haven't seen, by the way, another show, Better Call Saul, is apparently just as good, if not better. I only watched the first few episodes and I was like, it's a bit like, for me, it was a bit slow. I couldn't really get into it, but now I'm like, shit, I might actually have to go back and rewatch it.
Apparently it gets better and better. Yeah, I heard it was one of those shows that grows. So it's just...
That's another show that I feel like, again, not really more a background show, but just a show in general that overstayed its well. I feel like Game of Thrones, granted, I didn't end up finishing it, but I've heard so much stuff about the final season, like how much of a letdown it was.
Yeah,
and
see, that one's more not overstayed its welcome. I feel like that was a good time to end it. It's just they really screwed up the last season.
Okay.
Really badly, because I waited till it was completely done, and I heard nothing but incredible things. I'd watch podcasts and people would be like this. They would have sections in their podcast that were just 30 minutes dedicated to this show. And I'm like, okay, I don't watch it.
Yeah, wow.
Sure, all right, I'm now going to get into it once it finishes. And then when I saw it finish, there was that much hate and that much just everyone was so against it. I'm like, okay, well, now I actually want to watch it.
I need to know.
I want to find out.
Yeah.
Started watching it. Yeah, really good show. I think I binged it out. I think I binged I think there's 8 seasons, something like that. I think I got it done in a month.
Yeah, geez, That's pretty good.
It might have been less. And I do remember the last season just sitting there and going, you had like 10 out of 10 seasons and then you just hit me with a fucking 6.
Ooh,
yeah,
wow.
I like it.
Yeah, geez, okay.
The final season of any show is the most important because that's what you remember.
It does. That's where you tie all your ends, like all this character building. Like it's been leading up to that one moment.
And mate, perfect example right now. One show I really am not going to go back to because of their final season was Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yeah, Brooklyn Nine. I remember we came here, had some KFC. We're like, new season of Brooklyn Nine-Nine's on Netflix. Yeah, Netflix. And mate, am I
meant to hate cops now? Is that what? Yeah,
genuinely was like, what has happened?
Yeah,
like I remember Brooklyn Nine-Nine being like that show. You put it on, it doesn't matter if you're editing, playing a video, like whatever, and you just be like, oh yeah, I can come back to it. And it was fine. Man, I went down for my zinger. I was like, take a bite. I'm like, no, like, what's going on?
Man, see, I didn't mind. Every now and then, right, they would tackle certain issues, and it would be rarely. Like I remember there was an episode with the Sergeant Jeffords.
Yep.
And he got stopped when it was at night, and he was in his own town, and he was looking for a toy of his daughter's, and he didn't have his uniform on, and a white police officer stopped him and didn't really give him a chance to speak. And I was like, okay, I've heard that happens a lot, especially in America. I was like, okay, fine, we'll give you that one. They've gone on about Captain Holt being a man of color, but also being gay.
Yep.
So they've had a few episodes about how hard it's been for him to rise up the ranks. And I was like, yep. Yeah, perfect. There's been people who have struggled because they're gay or of color, rising up the ranks quicker than normal. But I feel like it's changing a lot now.
Yeah, correct.
So
correct.
When you're sprinkling that in,
it's not too. It's more. It's when it's forced down our throats.
That's what I mean. I was like, okay, you're keeping me aware. You're making some really good points. That's good to think about. But my God, the last season. They are just cramming it
almost
down
like
your
sponsorship
throat.
deals or something like that. It's like our episode will revolve around this topic.
Yep,
and then plan from there.
Yeah, mate. It made it seem. It made it look like it would go into people of color, and usually I would sit there and I'd go, and from Australia, we're not. I don't notice where we are. I don't notice it too much, but on American TV shows, I see it a lot, and I'm like, okay, they definitely go through hardships. The last season of Brooklyn Nine-Nine made me think that just all of America's racist. It just made me go like...
Yeah, completely like that.
Oh, man, I was sitting there. I'm like, this is too much. And then it went on too much about hating cops as well and how cops are always in the wrong.
Yeah, wow, shit.
And
so they've like completely backflipped.
Yeah, I know you didn't see all of it, but, mate, they completely ruined Rosa's character.
That's a damn shame.
They threw her all the way to the side, and this is going to be a spoiler for anyone who hasn't seen the last season of Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Jake for, I think, how many? Maybe there's 8 seasons, so season 8's the last one, I think. I could be wrong. But throughout every single season, Jake is the cop that has to do good. Yeah. In his heart, he cannot not do the right thing. There's been episodes where he has nearly panic attacks because he thinks he's done the wrong thing by someone. All the time, he abides by the law. He's a great cop. In the last one, they've got Rosa who quits the force because she saw a couple of bad and negative things happen within her police station, and she's like, all cops are like this, I guess. Cops are the bad guy. Jake follows along, and then with Judy, Judy, he helps him escape prison.
Wait, what?
I'm not kidding. He helps him escape prison. And I mean in a way of like he deliberately unlocked his, what's it called? What's the chain?
Handcuffs?
Handcuffs so he could get away. And I'm like, Jake Peralta would never do that.
Yeah, what the hell?
Ever. And not only that, you haven't set it up. There hasn't been something in season 2 where Jake was a bit iffy about the law.
Yeah.
Season 4, he was like, I'm really seeing some change. Season 6, there's some things he really...
it's just out of the blue.
It was just out of the fucking blue.
Yeah,
so
that's
Rose's character has completely changed. Jake would never do that in ever. And then you just jamming all these things down my throat. Don't get me wrong. As I said, I like the episodes when you're going on about how Holt struggles rising through the ranks.
Because that happens. It makes sense.
It does happen.
So it's a good thing to explore.
It is, but not fucking every episode. Oh, it's too much.
No, it gets like that, man. And then it makes it real hard to watch as well. You lose interest.
Yep.
And all that. And now, what once was a great show just leaves that lingering taste of like that final season.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's just like you almost forget about all the good stuff because you're like, oh no, that final season was so bad.
Yeah.
That's sort of in a sense as well, like The Office. I remember saying that to you when I was finally watching the US Office. Like, man, this is really good. And you're like, oh man, it is good, but just get ready. And I'm like, what do you mean? You're like, oh, it goes from good to pretty bad. I'm like, why? And you're like, once Michael leaves, man, like it's just, I can't believe how much, that's the thing is how significant one character, how
much impact
can alter that 70s show. Eric leaves.
Yeah.
Like, man, like why?
What a great background show. I forgot about that one.
Like that 70s show was such a good background show.
That did get worse as it went on. Didn't Michael leave as well?
From memory,
Kelso?
Yeah,
he did because he went to go to the police force.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn, Jackie.
I love that episode where it's like, who stole my panties? And they think it's Eric. He's like, oh, Eric, you are a god. A god, I say.
Mate, that 70s show actually has so many like good, funny bits in it. I just remember watching that on Channel 7 back in the day. And then when it was on Disney Plus, maybe?
I know. Netflix? They started whipping it out on 7 Mate.
But like, What a show.
It was good.
What a show. My Name is Earl, another great show, in my opinion. So on background, you don't have to really pay too much attention.
Mm-hmm.
The Simpsons is like forever goated.
It is.
As a background show. It doesn't matter what season. Well, all right, I lie. It kind of does matter what season.
Yeah, early seasons.
Yeah, like,
but not like season 1 and 2.
Not season 1, 2, and 3. It's like a bit too early on.
it's
like,
way too early on.
From like season 4 to season like 11 is primetime Simpson.
Yeah, it is.
Like you could do no wrong. Sorry.
Family Guy's a great one. Family Guy has really gotten worse.
That's funny. Touching on Family Guy, because Family Guy and American Dad, made both by Seth MacFarlane.
Yep.
I remember being like, Family Guy, when it first came out, I was like, this show's so edgy, it's great, it's funny and all that. And then I was like, American Dad sort of sucks. It's not that great. Whereas nowadays, present day, American Dad, I personally think is fucking amazing.
It is.
And Family Guy is fucking terrible.
Family Guy has gotten worse and worse as it goes on. And now some of the jokes don't even make any sense. Like before, the cutaway gags, they're getting a bit more I'm seeing how people make the jokes about how ridiculous they are, because I'm like, yeah, some of these are stupid. And early days, elite, top tier.
It was such a good show.
It really was.
I still think to this day, granted, I haven't been following them as close, and I definitely know you're a massive fan, South Park.
Oh, South Park's very good.
The way that I love the fact that they're always up to date with current world issues. Like, they never miss. Like, they're always on topic.
See what's hard about that? I like the fact when they do a segment, like they did one with COVID, and it was pretty much like a 2-part series where it was like a movie.
Okay.
I love that. But in their later seasons, and I don't like when shows do this, funny shows like Family Guy, South Park, or American Dad, South Park had a problem where they would have PC Principal in an episode, right? Great idea. It was elite. It was very, very good. I was like, that's funny. And then we're continuing on with PC Principal and basing around him. And I'm like, all right, let's calm it down. Okay.
Yeah. Don't make him a main.
And then it went to a series where, I've now got to watch the last 3 episodes of South Park to get.
Oh, really? That's how it flipped.
Yeah, and I was
I don't know about that.
No, you guys are perfect with the one-offs.
Yeah.
And then maybe bring it, or a 2-parter or
Remember
something.
Perk?
Yeah.
Like stuff like that. Yeah, the episode with Michael Jackson, like Oprah. There's so many Angelina Jolie.
Yeah, that's so true.
Even my favourite is the Black Friday sales. They went like Game of Thrones, like sort of theme as well. Yeah. Kenny's a princess.
The World of Warcraft episode is the best of all time.
That is Make Love Not Warcraft. One of the best episodes out there.
It's so good.
Pass the sword. I don't know how to pass the sword. Just press F, Dad. Take the sword. We're going to have to save them on the World of Warcraft. Do you have a World of... No? Do I look like I'm a sad?
Randy's the best character.
He really is.
It was a spooky ghost.
I want to be a dolphin.
Dad?
Carl's knees just shut up. Oh, no. South Park was good, man.
It was good.
I don't know. Like, shows these days, as far as like rewatchability, just background, I don't know. I find it very hard to put on a good background. Like, I feel like it's always going back to the same ones.
Yeah.
Like you said at the start, How I Met Your Mother, Big Bang Theory, Jersey Shore. Like, I feel like, I don't
think it is, though. I think it's very hard. I don't know if you find that. Well, it's not hard as in like fucking life's hard, but it's hard in the way of like, for me, starting a new show is like a chore.
I definitely agree with that.
If I don't like it in the first like 3 episodes, I'm like, I'm not committing. But once I complete it, then it will be a background show.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of... I genuinely have to agree. It does feel like such an effort.
Yeah, and when we were growing up, it's like you get to watch Family Guy or Packed to the Rafters or something fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, jeez. Packed to the Rafters. I wouldn't watch that.
So you're forced to watch these shows. Now it's like
there's too much freedom.
I actually struggle with how much there is. And I hate the fact that I will look at Netflix and I completely judge every single movie by the art that is shown on display.
Yeah.
It might be an incredible movie. There might be an indie movie that's fantastic. And I'm like, well, the front picture isn't that good though.
That's like, I love going to the trending now to see what is trending. And I'm just like, nope, yes, nope. Like, I don't know. Like, what's another one out there at the moment? Sex Education's really, really good.
Yeah.
If you haven't watched that, that's a great show. And then Outer Banks. I remember getting a lot of hype. Man, I've watched like 2 episodes. I just can't get into it.
Yeah, I couldn't get into Outer Banks. I didn't like that one too much. I like docos. Docos every now and then.
Docos can be really good.
Yeah, I think my attention span is now fucked, which sucks. Like I can admit that. Like if something doesn't grab me, especially in a movie, in the first like 5 minutes, I'm off.
I'm a bit the same
and
as you, man.
I hate that. I'm sitting there. I'm like, fuck, I've got ADHD now or some shit. Like,
yeah, no, I definitely feel the
TikTok's
same way.
ruined me. And I saw a video online the other night, and I'm like, fuck, this makes such a good point. This is why I need to get off. I think it was Harry from the Sidemen. He deleted TikTok off his phone. He's on a podcast. I'm like, why'd you do that? And he's like, because I would spend so much time on it. And I got off, and a friend said, what were the last 5 TikToks you watched? And he went, I actually have no fucking idea. I'm just scrolling. And that's me. I'm just going like, I can't remember what TikToks I watched last night.
Yeah, shit.
There might be 1 or 2 that I save, and I'm like, that's funny as. Other than that, I've been scrolling for like an hour.
Holy shit.
I think there was a time, I remember looking back, it was last year. Yeah, it was last year. My screen time each day was something like 14 hours. Fuck. And TikTok would be 4 hours.
That's crazy.
Yeah, TikTok would be 4 hours each, which was even then I was just like, I need to get off this app. Like, that's not good.
I feel like we just need to, as humans, need to get off our phone more just in general, though.
It's so hard to, because what's your thoughts on, you know how some people will be like, when you're at dinner, and let's say you got a whole group of friends and people on their phone and things like that. It's like, oh, you're not socializing. Sometimes you are. Sometimes you're messaging people.
I definitely agree with that. Like, it's such a dinner conversation where it's like, oh, wow, look at everyone on their phones and all that. It's like, well, if I got a message from like a mate who I don't really chat to, maybe it's in a group chat, there's a Snapchat or like, you know, an Instagram, like, I'm still socializing.
Yep.
Like, I get that it doesn't look great, but then at the same time, like,
am I meant to be talking the whole entire time?
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Like, how many times have we been at a dinner together, dude, and there's all the conversations are just boring. Like, there's no sort of thing where you can point yourself and be like, hey, I can add to this.
Yeah.
You're sort of just there and you're like, I don't really care about that topic at all. Yeah. And I definitely don't give a shit about the people talking about that topic. Like,
well, it might be the same. Even
I don't know. Like, I just don't care.
Even like me and you, man. I mean, we would catch up 3 times a week and probably talk every day or every second day. So when we catch up, there's nothing new to
yeah, no, you're so spot on.
So
though.
it's like I'm not fussed if you go on your phone or I go on my phone. But I think the only time I would be fussed is if it was maybe someone new I was seeing and I was trying to have a conversation and their attention's just not with me.
Yeah, well, they seem disinterested.
Yeah, that's just disrespectful.
Because then it's, yeah.
Yeah.
I completely agree with you on that one.
Yeah, I think it is a hard one though. It is a hard one. Would you, if you had kids, would you try to keep them off the iPad? Because I see they're glued to it these days. Glued.
I feel because it was so like, I don't know, I was raised always in the backyard, ride your bike, do a sport or whatever. I'd like to think I would still do that and raise them that way. But if they're misbehaving, I almost feel like it's easy. It's so easy to just be like, you know what, just play the app. Just fuck. Like, just shut the fuck up. Like, just have the fuck. So I don't know. I feel like it's that fine line.
Yeah, same with parenting too. Before we go, I think
parenting's changed tenfold since we were kids. Mate,
perfect example. I went to a cafe the other day, and I'm looking over at the other table, and there's this girl who's just like, "Mum, mum, mum." While the 2 people are talking, like, "Mum, mum, 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 can I get this? Mum, mum, I want this. Mum, can I get this?" And I'm sitting there, I'm like, "Are you fucking kidding me? If this was me when I did this as a kid, I would get grabbed on the wrist, stared at by my parent and be like, stop it right now, or you're not getting to play your video game when you get home, or you're not getting this when you get home, or you're not going to your friend's house tonight." And I cut that shit real quick. I'm sitting there watching and I go, "Mum, mum, mum, I want this, mum." And then the mum's like, "Stop it." "No, okay. And I'm like, oh my fucking God. And the mum just pulls out a 20 and gives it to her. I'm like,
you're kidding.
I'm like, oh, what is this world fucking come to?
That's a joke. No, where I work, it's good. You see the difference of parents. You see the ones who just won't take any shit. It'd be like, I want the toy. It's like, no, mate, we've got enough toys at home. Like, come on. Or the classic, mate, Santa's coming soon. It's your birthday soon. I hear that one so much. But then there's other ones where it's like, I want the toy. And it's like, all right, then you can have the toy. I'm like, what are you doing? Don't race them like that. Because then they think they can do that all the time.
Yeah.
Like, I was a shocker as a kid. I used to remember being in bloody Kmart or Target.
Yeah, my mum said I was a shocker too.
Wanting like a John Cena figurine and be like, Mum, I want this. And Mum's like, well, mate, if you don't have the money, like, I don't know how you... It's like, no, you'll pay. And Mum's like, I don't think so. And then I just like make a scene, thinking that like, oh, if I make a scene, Mum's fucked it.
Yeah.
Turns out she's not. Like, you're not... Even the classics, like... You just be like, well, that's it. I'm going to run away then. And I'm going to tell on you and all that. And then, like, yeah, like running away.
Took my flute, went to the paddock, and I just started.
You run away maybe to, like, the playground or something like that. And after, like, 10 minutes, like, just being by yourself, you're like, it's kind of shit.
It's kind of cold, actually.
Kind of want my mum.
I've played 3 blind mice and I flute too many times.
I miss mum's hot chockies. Yeah, they were just tambuck in a cup.
The way she did the little marshmallows, I actually did like it. Did you, before we go, did you ever do that one thing where if you wanted a game and you knew your mum wouldn't fucking get it, like I think we had the same type of parents where it's like I could cry, sweat, blood and tears, whatever, and I wouldn't get the game if I just kept asking for it. I wouldn't get it out. There was no time where, say I wanted a brand new video game, they'd be like, oh, you know, I'm just feeling a good mood. Here we go. Like, it would never
never fucking happen.
Have to do chores or trade my games. But did you ever go to eBay Games or JB Hi-Fi, grab the game you want and just stare at it for as long as you can?
all the fucking time, man.
Like, oh, it'd be great if I had this one.
Yeah.
Mum, it's got the new levels. Jason's got it too.
Yeah, you always like rope your mates in.
Yep.
Did you ever, because I just touching on that real quick as well, were you ever in EB Games with your brother and then you'd just be like, what's that? Mum, I don't even want this game. Johnny wants a game.
What's that, Johnny?
You want GTA?
Mum, he said he's going to kill himself if you don't.
Although it never works because my brother just didn't game. So Mum's like, yeah, nice try. I'm like, oh, Mum, he actually wants the game.
So I think if I was a parent, I know my parents never did it, but I think if I like had a really good day at work or got a bonus or something, I could see myself like just buying my kid like a brand new video game that he's
mate. Yeah, just have it. I remember when Yu-Gi-Oh!
5 marshmallows in the drink for you.
I remember when Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards came out and I went to EB Games and I was looking at the deck. And then I don't know what I somehow ended up with the deck, but I think it's because I had it and I was like, yeah, I'll take that one. And Mum was just like doing her own thing. The guy's like, yeah, mate, no worries, it's this much. I'm like, yep, Mum. And I just like got Mum's hand, pulled Mum to the counter. I'm like, yeah, it's like $20. And Mum's like, what? And I'm like, just give me the money. I just remember coming home, Mum was like, don't damage any of the cards. I'm like, yeah, no, I won't. Didn't have any of them in sleeves. Good times.
Guys, that was Morokaii with 2 eyes. Hope you guys enjoyed and we'll see you in the next one. Boom.